didn't grow up during the Cold War era, so I have no idea what it was like to go to school and watch Bert the Turtle cover up in his protective shell from the malicious bomb-carrying monkey. Nor did I know what it was like to have the words duck and cover drilled into me, or to have a bomb shelter as a necessity for the family house, or to ride on my bicycle wearing a radiation suit. Alright, maybe kids in the 50s didn't do that last one. The Atomic Cafe is one of my personal treasures that I can turn to find a unique movie experience. It's both chilling and humorous, and is my #1 favorite documentary of all time. The first half of the movie documents the beginning of the atomic age. The second half is filled with atomic bomb propaganda, and is really quite humorous, yet disturbing to see all the bizarre precautions people went through to survive an atomic attack.
And by the way, do you know exactly what your family would do if an attack came? Say at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. It's a good question, isn't it?
Just the compilation of old stock footage and the way they're uniquely put together to appear consistent is enough reason to watch the movie.
We interrupt our normal program in the interest of security and civil defense measures as requested by the United States government.
Attention, attention. This is an official civil defense warning. This is not a test. The United States is under nuclear attack. Take cover immediately in your area fallout shelter.
This really is a hard film to do justice, because there's so many to discuss in every scene. There's the army training video reassuring the soldiers would be alright in a nuclear explosion.
Don't worry about yourselves. As far as the test is concerned, you'll be okay.
It's a wonderful sight to behold.
Finally, if you receive enough gamma radiation to cause sterility or severe sickness, you'll be killed by blast, flying debris, or heat anyway.
There's the scene where a group of Girl Scouts demonstrate the meals to make during an atomic attack. There's of course the famous duck and cover video.
You and you and you and you, you and you and you and you, you and you and you and you, duck and cover.
A lot of the film shows just how much people didn't know about the reality of a nuclear attack.
Well, the first thing we have to recognize is that if half of Los Angeles is destroyed, maybe 80-90% of the people will be dead, and there will be fewer mouths to feed, and those of us who will survive will have more water and food to divide up.
Take this scene for example, when someone reassures the audience how you're likely to survive a blast.
How far do you have to be from the blast to live through it?
Let's take a 20 megaton surface burst. You would have a good chance of surviving if you were more than 12 miles from the point of detonation.
It's the fallacy of devoting 85% of one's worrying capacity to an agent that constitutes only about 15% of an atomic bomb's destroying potential. And that's unsound. Doesn't fit.
This man, like thousands of others around the country, is suffering from a dread disease called nuclearosis. The symptoms? Nuclear blindness. All he can see is a mushroom cloud. He is blinded from the fear of it, deaf from the sound of it. A fallout shelter in your basement will give adequate shielding from radioactive fallout. He's finally getting the message. Are you?
There's really quite a lot to learn from this movie. I call it underrated when you compare it to other documentaries that have grown in popularity. What makes the Atomic Cafe so unique and different though is its ability to tell a story and convey a message without the need to have narration, interviews, or new footage created by the filmmakers, which are usually the kind of things made for documentaries. None of the footage is self-created and everything is from stock. Yet everything flows together like it's an actual movie. Take this transition scene for example. There are two different movies put together to seem like one consistent scene.
Thanks. Anyone of intelligence and information is hoping and praying that we won't have a third world war. Well, I'm sorry to have to tell you that the military will tell you that as of today, they cannot stop a successful Russian attack.
We didn't plan it this way, Governor, but the floor manager has just handed me a bulletin saying that the Russians have just exploded a hydrogen bomb.
I usually use this movie as an example of how film editing is the most unique phase of filmmaking. An image may have 1,000 words, but film editing can create 1,000 meanings with those images. It's disturbing, horrific, informative, funny, and even eye-opening. I doubt I'll ever find atomic paranoia so entertaining as the Atomic Cafe.